Ben Sebastian here. It's midnight and I'm returned home from work. Long shift and here with another review video for you. Don't know why I'm being quieter. I think it's just the hour, maybe plus the tiredness. But this is quite an important one. There's going to be a lot to say on this one, just on the basis of the content that I've been sent, sort of accompanying the single. The artist is Lazerus Benson. There's a few releases he's done on Spotify. I'll leave all links and stuff below. But today we're going to focus on Relapse. Now, Relapse is a sort of alternative metal song he wrote. And he says it was at a time when he kind of turned to excessive or unhealthy alcohol use and the usage of pills after suffering a bereavement. He said he had severe depression anyway, and thinking he could sort of take to these substances as a way of kind of, well, numbing the pain out until it all went away. And unfortunately, it doesn't do that. I speak from experience, being 990 days clear of cocaine myself. And he says that a lot of his music that he creates is relative to his life issues that he's had, and he hopes that it helps others in some way. I speak personally as a composer that I kind of feel the same way as well. He started learning to play the violin and piano at 12, and he's sort of taken to other instruments on and off. And he knows a bit of theory, and he sort of like learned how to do his own sort of vocals, both screaming and clean, and he's kind of sort of had this kind of personal sort of drive to sort of experiment with sort of plugins, recording, and basically done everything himself. And this kind of has some synergy with myself. I sort of self-taught sort of keys from about, I think, 4, 5. Picked up like faster pace on that in mid-teens. I picked up a guitar to accompany the keys I was writing, because I struggled to form bands and mix with people with the same kind of sort of ideology or drive or reliability or consistency. And then that obviously then spans out to sort of bass and then recording, and then even recently sort of vocals, and all that kind of stuff. So I totally know where this guy's coming from. Like, before I've heard a note of his music in just what he said, and you know, I have to say thank you for sharing. And moreover is that, you know, it's important to invest in your own abilities and talents as a way of surpassing the vicissitudes of life. This is a phrase that I knock about all the time, and it is just so meaningful. I've been an ex-drug addict, I've been an ex-arsehole, I've been an ex-prisoner, and I aimed at kind of getting back onto my composing, and then coming up with this sort of podcast thing, and this grew to this channel to what it is today, which then gave me sort of connections and a peer group and the confidence to pick up vocals and start releasing the singles that I do. Speaking of which, Banged Up, Playing Chess, My Honeybee, all the singles that I released last month are all available and links and stuff below. I appreciate that I've talked now for, well, before editing, 4.5 minutes, and we haven't even got to the music yet. So this is Lazerus Benson with Relapse.
Back in the awake. Trying to heal wounds that I can't erase. I know it won't change a thing. Gotta pick me when I'm down, cause I love my shame. Hope I find a light to guide my way. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the way. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the way. Yeah, back in the way. Yeah, back in the way. No other road, no other way. Gotta stay strong in the worst of my days. Hold my head high, cause it's not a race. No going back to the past I made. They love it now to watch me fade, but I'll show them that I'm not afraid to put down the bottle and walk away. Cause this is my life and they don't own me. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the way. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the way. Yeah, back in the way. Yeah, back in the way. They don't wanna see me win, they just wanna see me die. They don't wanna see me win, they just wanna see me die. They don't wanna see me win, they just wanna see me die. From the battle of the inside. They don't wanna see me win, they just wanna see me die. From the battle of the inside. They don't wanna see me win now. They don't wanna see me win, they just wanna see me die. Yeah, my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the wake. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the wake. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the wake. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the wake. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the wake. I hear my demons, they're talking to me. Hope I don't relapse back in the wake. Yeah, back in the wake. Yeah, back in the way. Yeah, back in the way.
Well, credit where credit's due. You know, Lazarus has done all of this himself, and that in itself is an achievement. I know exactly the type of energy it's required to not only kind of sort of compose and kind of capture that outpouring, capture all that sort of essence and emotion within and turn it into music, as well as play kind of all the instruments and then do all the sort of mixing and the mastering and then all of the kind of artwork and then all of that kind of stuff. There's so many of us out there doing it, you know, it's just, I have to commend you on that, you know, particularly, you know, when it kind of relates to background historic and even present day struggles, which is something I'm unfortunately quite well versed on. You know, it's profound. It's profound. You are on a profound journey, and I think that if there's any reassurance that can be given from a reaction or a review video, I think it's that is the most important. This is your journey. You're doing absolutely the right thing. You're aiming, and you're putting out content. Yes, okay, the listener base and stuff may be low now, but you just keep on, not really selling yourself, but just keep being authentic and stick with this drive. All the little tasks that come with musicianship that aren't so creative, like self-promotion and marketing and all that, they get easier and more bearable over time, and the win rate, as in winning the audience over, that comes with that. The more authentic you are and the more consistent you are with that, That's, if I could impart any kind of knowledge, not that I'm super successful myself, but that seems to be the path that is working for me, and having spoken to many bands doing this over the last couple of years, they seem to concur, and their stories sort of concur, and what's the word I'm looking for? That doesn't matter. It all seems to fit. I apologise, maybe a bit overtired. The brains, the cogs aren't quite working. The music itself was all very well played, all very well done, all very nice sounding in terms of production. This is a kind of track that is perhaps sort of lighter than I'm used to, and would normally sort of go for, but it was catchy, and there was a nice little surprise in there with the heaviness, which I think you could capitalise on that more, although that said, I haven't listened to your back catalogue as of yet, so that's not that's just a comment that doesn't really have any huge foundation, but it is an area where I think you're actually really good at as well. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any sort of darker material. It's a little bit more up my street, but certainly for fans of like bands like, just quote some of the obvious, Linkin Park, Ashes to New, Bad Omen, or Bad Omens even, etc. I think this is wholly up their street. So if you've liked this, links below. Let's give this guy all the support in the world. He's gone through quite the journey to get here, and he's got quite the journey ahead of him as well. And I wish him all the very best with that. Like, really, seriously, this is exactly what you need to be doing. You're doing it well. And yeah, this has been Lazerus Benson with Relapse.
Survive these coming days.